Hey everybody, Cara here from Perspective-Based Parenting. I apologize for the lighting conditions. I'm in a new space and I'm going to try really hard to make it work a little better for us in the future. I'm going to keep this really short today anyway. I gave you guys a lot to chew on last night and I wanted you to think about what worked, what hasn't worked 1 week into being home with your kids the whole time, and kind of bring yourself back to the topic of every day, right? So we're going to do a quick review, and then I'm going to do a quick flow chart about crisis management. All right, so day one, we talked about mindset, that we cannot expect things to be what they were in our homes right now. We cannot expect to function the way we used to. We have to understand cognitively that there are going to be situations that have to be solved in different ways. Running to the grocery store to pick up, fill in the blank with almost anything, is actually not a choice anymore. So the mindset shift of there are things that will not be choices anymore, and I will have to be creative in how I solve them. Working at my office isn't a choice anymore. I have to be creative about how to make it viable for me to work from home. Sending my kids to daycare is not a choice anymore. I have to figure out how to provide the best possible experience for them through all this in our home. So many, right? So that's why we started with mindset. And then we moved on to the power of a schedule, which is very important when we're going through transitions and dealing with new experiences. We talked about how to make a plan within a schedule, and then within that, we talked about guided transitions inside our plans. So you can see how we started here and kept honing in and focusing down and making the chunks manageable. Manageable set of time, a manageable chunk gets us to the next place. But I took you there this way. I came top down because it was such an overwhelming transition for all of us. We had to start here. And then every lens, every layer, like the onions, right, became a little more clear as we were able to focus on it. And then we talked about the power of choice and the choices within transitions and how to support our kids. And that was just the tip of the iceberg there. We've got a much clearer subset, but not right yet. Okay. So today, now that you're kind of in the routine of your new normal, I want to talk about crisis management. For those of you that are telecommuting, it's likely that you work in a job where crisis management is something you do a lot. If you're in an office workspace, if you are a manager, if you are in finances, if you are the head of a team, if you're in sales, if you're in advertising, there's always fires to put out. You're always doing crisis management, right? So crisis management at face value is about reacting to the issue. There's an issue that's posing a problem, and you're reacting to the issue with the goal of either solving it or minimizing it for least amount of damage. Some people call it damage control, right? So I have a chart that I've made for you where I want you to really look through the layers of how crisis management works in a reactive mindset. And I promise I'm going to bring this all back, maybe not today, to your children and parenting. Okay, so when you react to an issue, you are usually going on a knee-jerk reaction or a reflex reaction, or you don't have a lot of time to come up with that reaction. And so usually what happens is the situation is already in progress, and you are either exacerbating the situation with your reaction or bringing it down to a manageable state. But either way, reactive thinking and reactive consequences are not usually the best possible outcome. Often you end up feeling like you survived the experience. Managed that one. Dodged that bullet. Didn't lose that client. Got that mathematical error before the whole financial budget was sent out to everybody. Right? That's reactive crisis management. And the best possible outcome with a reactive mindset is a feeling of relief. Whew. That could have been worse. And usually, even if you're really, really good at it because you've done it a lot, there's a feeling of out of control. You're not in complete control of the situation because the situation pre-existed you and your input, your reaction. In personal development, it sounds a lot like this. Life can either happen to you or for you. If life is happening to you, then you are playing the reactive role. If life is happening for you, then you are playing the role of the opportunist. What opportunity can I find within this experience that's happening to make better choices, to solve this differently, to grow from it? That's the world of personal development. And I believe with all my heart and soul that as parents, we need a personal development for parents program, which is kind of what this is. You getting that yet? I'm not giving you craft ideas for your kids. I'm not giving you delicious food options for your toddlers. Somebody else has got that completely covered. I'm giving you, the parent, the toolkit, the personal development superhero backpack, so that you can then in turn give them to your child. Teach them those skills that they need to personally develop into a little person who's ready to take on the real world, usually defined as kindergarten, when for the first time in a long time, maybe forever, you're not there. A caregiver isn't there all day, every day. All right? Crisis management reaction compared to a proactive crisis management system. That's what I have to offer. A proactive crisis management system that solves issues before they even start, resolves problems before the trigger button gets really hit and the meltdown begins. Does that sound interesting to you? Gosh, I hope so. because I know that you know how exhausting it is to hope everything's going to go okay that day with your kids. And then have to react and react and react and react. And every time you do, for every argument, for every meltdown, for every negative response, for every time somebody used hands on someone else's bodies, it wears you down a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And by the end of the day, you have nothing left. It's exhausting. It's unnecessary, and it's completely avoidable. Okay, so take a few minutes, hit the pause button, look over this flow chart that describes the process that the majority of you are probably going through on a daily basis over and over and over and over again right now, because you don't have all the tools you need in order to manage your new space that has your kids in it all day, every day, along with all the other responsibilities that have always been on your plate. And you also in your house 24/7. Okay. Have a great night, everybody. I'm thinking about each one of you every single day that goes by. I know new things pop up. I know some things get clearer for you. I'm really hoping that more of you want to reach out and ask some questions, because I'd love to be speaking to stuff that matters to you. So as always, we've totally got this.